As we get you updated on our grain trade, let's dive right in, shall we? Let's take a look at this corn market here. Corn has been under just very slight pressure all day long ever since we got the export sales numbers. We have September corn with these quotes provided by bar chart showing a trade of 326 and a quarter, down just a penny and a quarter. And you know, it's just kind of been floating around here all day long at this level. December corn down a penny and 3/4 at 333. The entire trading range today, not even 3 cents wide in December corn. That's kind of interesting. Now looking at our soybean trade, we have the August 3.5 higher at 902 3/4, while November's up 1 3/4. We're at 897 1/4. It got within 2 ticks of hitting $9 and then kind of backed away a little bit. In Chicago wheat, we have the September contract 5 1/4 lower at 529 1/4. Meanwhile, in Kansas City wheat, September down 6 at 442 1/2. And in Minneapolis wheat, we now have September down 2 1/2. We're at 512 1/4. Well, let's turn to Brian Hoops of Midwest Market Solutions and talk about this for a little bit here. On the corn market, a little bit of pressure here today, Brian. Everybody's talking about the rain that has moved through the Corn Belt over the past few days. There may be a little heat moving back in, but it seems like it's going to be accompanied by some moisture in most areas, and that should get us through this pollination period. What are the prospects that now we have seen the high between now and harvest?
Well, yeah, you probably have your summer high in place in the corn market, Marlon. You know, that posted back there about 30 cents higher than where we're currently at. We've seen a big jump in export sales as evidenced by this morning's report. In fact, new crop sales are the largest in the last 7 years for mid-July, 4th highest ever on record. And, you know, so we're off to a good start there. That'll help to limit some of our downside pressure and downside momentum. But I do think, as you mentioned, the highs are in. We're going through the pollination without any major weather problems. There's certainly some areas, talking with clients, that are seeing a lot of dryness, a lot of corn being hurt, but there's some areas that have received that beneficial rainfall. And with cooler temperatures next week, the corn crop is really growing and getting close to getting past that pollination point or the point where yields can really be hurt, rather adversely affected.
Well, if nothing else, I mean, we had a record for new crop export sales here when that report came out this morning, I understand. Overall, we sold 2.55 million tons last week. That was quite a stellar number. Soybeans, 2.67 million, another really large number. And you have to keep in mind the fact that we have had overnight export sales of soybeans every day since this reporting period as well, right?
Right. This is the 8th consecutive morning that we've had some sort of an export sales number. And our new crop commitments are really strong for this time of year for soybeans. In fact, they're the highest in the last 6 years for mid-July, well above last year when we had right now 382 million bushels as far as committed sales. We had 111 million a year ago. So we're off to a much, much better pace. You know, so some of the bulls are going to point to the fact that we have pretty decent growing conditions and good rainfall, and the market can't break on that. And your bear traders are going to point to the fact that our highs were posted Sunday night, Monday morning. We've had all this export news, a sale every day this week, and we cannot make new highs despite that news. And so there's, that tug of war is ongoing. I think we're, just close to seeing one of these two things break. Either we stop getting all the export business and with the good weather we turn things lower, or if we can get a hot and dry stretch, once again, soybeans are going to take another sharp leg higher because of the strong exports that we've seen.
August soybean meal is up $1.40 per ton, and August soybean oil down 3 points at $29.90. We'll be back in just a moment, and we'll examine our livestock trade here on a Thursday with extra analysis provided by Brian Hoops right after this. All right, let's check out our heating oil prices and see what that market is doing. This is, of course, how we price our diesel fuel. And right now, the August price is about 1.3 cents lower. We're at 125.7 per gallon on the August contract. September diesel fuel would be down about 1.4 cents at the present time. Meanwhile, we were talking earlier about the crude oil trade that was kind of weak in the knees today. September futures on the West Texas crude are down 18 cents. We're at 41.72 per barrel. Let's move on to our cattle trade. Live cattle, well, we have August now 52 cents lower. We're at $100.97, well off our earlier high when it was 102.40. So about $1.50 off of that now. And on the feeder cattle market, Feeders have August trading 45 higher at 141.97. Far out deferreds are weaker, though, with the November, the biggest loss to the downside. It's down 22 cents at 143.17. Lean hog market so far today, we have the August now up $1.90 at 54.55. That's only one tick off of our high of the day right now, and the nearby is leading the charge higher. So, Brian, your thoughts on this activity taking place in the livestock market today?
Yeah, it's very quiet, as you were mentioning. Not much movement. Not a lot of people really interested in this market per se. We're seeing some weakness coming in here. The cattle on feed report comes out tomorrow. Biannual cattle inventory report out at the same time. Trade's looking for on feed at 100% with placements of almost 4% larger than a year ago. And that's keeping buying interest kind of at bay here for this marketplace, especially in the August contract. Cash trade is up to 95, 96 in the South, but we're still holding a $5 to $6 premium over the current cash market. So there's very little incentive to keep pushing the futures market higher as we try to narrow up the basis before the delivery period begins in a couple weeks.
Good point. And again, those reports come out at 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And of course, we'll have full coverage right here next week on the following Monday. Thank you, Brian, for talking with us. Brian Hoops of Midwest Market Solutions in Springfield, Missouri. Christina?